One of the major issues here at Oyotunji going forward will be education for the youth. While there are no young children school age, presently they're going to arrive soon. And there are young children all around us who need some alternative method of schooling, some alternative method of learning values in life. And so as we know, African culture instills value in people. And so we're looking forward to participating and working together on initiatives such as education, industry, textile, language arts, and also cultural arts. Because as you know, if you have a culture, then you have an industry.
There it is.
You have an industry. If you have a culture of music, then you're going to need everything to supply it. You're going to need speakers, you're going to need wires, cables, actors, microphones, headphones, stages, trucks. You're going to need so many different things. And so if you have an African culture or an African community, then you have a beacon of salvation for our people. Just the other day, I was in Toronto, Canada. And while I was in Canada, I got to drive. It was impressive. I got to drive through the Indian neighborhood. Yeah, the Indian people, the Punjab, and the people from Delhi and Bali and all those wonderful places. The first thing I noticed as I drove through was the smell of food. The second thing I noticed was that there was businesses. On both sides of the street, maybe the community is 2 miles long, drive through, before it changes to another community, maybe Korean. But I noticed, the third thing I noticed after the food, the businesses, I noticed clothing. The ashal, like what you're wearing today. Very beautiful stuff, by the way. The women are absolutely stunning. African clothes, absolutely stunning. And so, in that Indian community, you saw the ladies shopping, hand in hand. And they have a similar dress to African people. Very flowing, very nice, beautiful material, laces and brocades and batiks. And then the other thing I noticed was they had a bar where all of the men primarily were standing out talking loud. They were sitting out there, they were drinking and watching the sports on the television. They wasn't watching the NFL, they were watching cricket. They even had their own stuff that they like to watch on their screen. And football, they had that all up there. And as you go further in the community, it then changed a little bit. The scenery changed from business to more like, well, do you want to grab your bag or, lock your door? And you have the guys standing with their car doors open, drinking beer, talking loud. You see people, loud music is playing out there. But one thing I noticed was it was the same thing again. Clothing, food, and entertainment. And so this entire community is what our African black community should be in North America. And we had them. But as Baba said, African Americans had to fight constantly, and we lost many of them due to jealousy from Europeans who would just come in and just destroy it, like quite namely in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so we have to get those back. We have to have those places where when we come, or people come to our world, they experience our culture. Businesses, clothing, entertainment, lodging, hospitality. Because these are the things. When I walked in there, I wasn't interested in no religion. I could care less what these people believed in. I knew whatever they believed in, it was working. It was really working. Because they believed in themselves, their own culture, their own people, their own gods, goddesses, whatever they believe in, Brahmarata, Hindu, Vishnu, Shiva. I don't care. I experienced the food, the family, the energy of these people. And this is what people have to experience when they come to our towns. But we don't have any towns. So we have to build them. We have to create them. Oyotunji is just but one. We have people who own different parts of cities and communities around the state, around the country. They should be informed on this knowledge. Because we have many black leaders, but it's difficult to be a black leader without knowing the culture of the people you're trying to lead. And so knowing African culture, we know African people need schools, we need industry, we need clothing, we need operative businesses, whole avenue of businesses, clothing businesses, Food, carvings, all the way down the block. Just keep going down the block. Business after business. Somebody's selling life insurance because you all got to die one day. And you want the children to be okay when you go and don't have to pay for the life insurance. It's all there. And so this is what is the vision of our founder, is to create an African town that is comparable to any other cultural town of people anywhere in North America. And so your donations, what you give to Oyotunji, in kind and in monetary form, helps to build Oyotunji. Because everything you see here was built by people just like you. It wasn't me, it wasn't him, it wasn't her or him over there. It was a lot of people. Some people just put one nail, and they get credit for that. Because without that one nail, it would not be to where it is. Some people took one stroke of a paintbrush. And so this is what I'm saying. No amount of effort is too small when you're on a ship like this. No amount of effort is too small. And so it is our own ship. We have to man it. We need people at the bow and the stern so that every time we pull into port, we're in ship shape. And so we ask you to continue to support Oyotunji. And this was a monumental occasion because this is how it is done. As the Baba student said, you have to do the spiritual first. This is spiritual. Yeah, it's spiritual too. We do not have no rattles and shakers and, you know, the stuff you're used to seeing in the spirit room, but this is spiritual because this is custom. Custom and tradition is spiritual. That's religion too. So the fact that your Egbe, your society, your group came to Oyotunji, came before the ancestors, before the Orisha, the deities, the energy of Africa, and before the elders and the Kabiesi, and stated your objective. So that when you are doing your big things, we don't just all of a sudden say, oh, they have this thing in Colombia. We say, well, who are these people? What are they doing? How are they doing it? Why are we not a part of it? And so this is how, that's why this is tradition, this is religion. Because if you don't do that, then you're going to get this right here. Those people in Colombia, or those people in Oyotunji. No, this is how it happened. So Yoruba people came to forums. We had meetings, we had presentation. We are a people of style, a people of pomp and circumstance. Okay. Stop the whole show until we line up properly, put everybody in the proper line. Okay, now let's go. We are people of order, Yoruba, African people, period. And so today we heard several different languages spoken here today. That's powerful. That's very powerful. For the spirits that inhabit these trees, how your ancestors walked this property right here from Africa. They worked in the rice plantation just beyond the trees over there is where many of our African people worked. 300 Africans worked this plantation at the time of the Civil War. Okay? And so those ancestors hear that. We're represented from all parts of what you call Nigeria. We're represented here from Gambia, Ghana, Senegal. You know, I heard Alafia, I heard Keduke, I heard Jajifate, all different languages, ways of greeting. But when we came to America, none of us could communicate with each other. We couldn't communicate because, you know, not all the time was a Yoruba person in Akwa Ibom, or Akwa Ibom person in Accra, or Accra person in Senegambia region. And so in this area, we came together under the umbrella of Gullah Geechee. And so within the Gullah Geechee language, we were able to devise what you might call pidgin today. We was able to devise a language of commonality where we all can understand each other. But it was based on ideas, frame of references, phrases from each of our culture. That's why Gullah Geechee language is so diverse and it moves so fast, because it's encompassing the feeling of many different cultures. Vai, Ibibio, Temne, Mende, Mandingo, Malinke, Fanti, Ashanti, Yoruba Igbo. You see, all of these different people encompass us. And so we have a big job to do. It's no time, it's going to be plenty of time for celebration, but in the meantime, we have to formulate and move forward straight. And it begins with the children. Because once the foundation is made for the children and we know that's who we're doing it for, then that becomes our motivation. Because we wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for our parents. I used to be a guy like that, a little, yeah. We wouldn't have anything without our elders, mothers, and fathers. And so we have to begin to work with the youth. Have them, bring them for field trips. Bring us to your community. Your community come to ours, and we continue to share. And so we thank our yeyes, our mothers, we thank our fathers, and our elders for coming today. And let it be known from here on out that the African Union in South Carolina is strong, vibrant, and have visited Oyotunji, paid tribute to the ancestors and to the crown. Because this is the village in North America where African culture began for us in North America. Yes, we had black people here. Yes, we didn't have no drums. The drum wasn't played in South Carolina since 1741 when it was outlawed. It wasn't played again until 1970s when Oyotunji was founded. And so could you imagine the spirits who stay in these forests heard the drum for the first time in almost 200 years and woke up? That's why Oyotunji is still here. The FBI didn't take it yet. You have to say yet, it's America. It's America. But notice, all movements of black people have some way of somehow been disbanded and broken up because no cultural foundation. This is cultural foundation. And so that is why we have a strong foundation to stand on. Not just we have a strong foundation to stand on, but it's more pertinent to point out, that's why we got to march fast forward. Because you have a strong foundation. One that African Americans never had before. No African American group can say they had African culture as a platform. Booker T can't say it, Marcus can't say it, Malcolm can't say it, Martin can't say it, nobody. None of them can speak our language, know our style of dress, know our customs of marriage, know our styles of birth and death rights. What do pregnant women do? African culture teaches us this, and it comes from Oyotunji. And so from the crown alone, the sun shines, and from our ancestors alone, may our vision be imminent. We do not have to be mealy-mouthed. We do not have to be timid. One bit. One bit. You do not have to be afraid, timid, or scared. Your vision must be imminent.
I see.